Hello and welcome to Speedrun Walkthrough and Discussion. I am Brassmaster, your host here for today. So with the release of the PC version coming out later this week, and some other people have expressed interest in running this game, decided to go ahead and make a video here to show you what we have so far with running the game. Right now there's only about a 20-minute difference between glitchless and glitched, so there's not a whole lot that we have. We do have two decent sized skips, but that's really about it. The other stuff is quite small, but there's still skips nonetheless. And so I'll be going through all the main skips in the game. If you're looking for fight strategies or routes through certain areas, you're going to need to look at a run. The only unfortunate thing is this beginning section, I actually have to play through the whole thing to discuss two skips which are at the end of this level. The majority of this walkthrough, I'm going to be going through chapter replay, so some things are going to be mildly different, and so I'm going to have to just discuss it and talk about what you need to do. At least for one of the skips, we're going to have that problem.
Something's here.
I'll also try to discuss the differences between 360 and Xbox One, and we're going to have to take a look into how PC is different as well. They might have some other things. There's one skip that's very random on Xbox One that is not possible on the 360, and I'm pretty sure it deals with the loading triggers.
Incredible.
So not only am I going to go through and show you every single skip that we have, but I'm actually going to discuss some of the things that we know about, and hopefully somebody can actually take a look into them and say, hey, I found out how to do this. And we actually have ways to get out of bounds and stuff like that to where
It's amazing.
we can potentially skip much larger sections. Unfortunately, we don't have a use for them. There is a running button that is in this game, so you'll see me running on occasion. But it does seem that the climber's agility from Tomb Raider 2013 is still the fastest method of movement, so that's jumping and rolling. But actually, we don't have that yet. That's going to be the first skill that we pick up, so you'll see that in the second section that I'll be doing. Also note that this is not the beginning of the game, but this is actually about 7 minutes into a speedrun where I started. Unfortunately, the intro to the game is very straightforward. No skips. For the most part, buttons are disabled, so we can't do a whole lot.
Finally confronting them in their hidden oasis.
Damn it. Come on.
Unfortunately, there's really not a whole lot to say here, so I do apologize. But I have to get up to the section. I probably could have just started the walkthrough a little bit further up, but you at least get to see some of the gameplay. And I didn't know how long my intro was going to be. The whole beginning of the section just kind of teaches you the mechanics of the game and how about like the murals. There's one to my left there. We've got different traps here, which we don't see all that often, actually, in the main game anyway. So this is like our tomb introduction as well as collectible introduction as well. So if you look around, you'll find a lot of collectibles that are just right there in the way. This is also kind of showing you the fast solution to the quote-unquote puzzles. Supposedly this is the water puzzle number 1, but it didn't really seem much like a puzzle, but apparently it is. So they've added a underwater swimming mechanic into this game. Looks like this, and we do it a couple of times throughout the game. I thought that was kind of cool, a nice little addition, but it doesn't really do much, and especially in a speedrun, it's just kind of slow. But thankfully, we are now into the final room, so I can actually discuss some of the tricks that we have. So this might have actually been patched, but for PC guys, check it out. Mash jump right here, and as you see, I actually got a little bit of a jump there. Originally, I could have gotten her to jump way out into the water. I don't know why that ended up not starting to happen, but it might have something to do with a patch that they didn't really release the notes for and say that, oh yeah, we fixed this. Because I've looked through all their patch notes and didn't see anything. Alright, so here's our first skip. We're supposed to go over to that wall and open it up, and it takes this water and rises the level so we can get up there. But we have a little bit of a skip for it, so we're going to come up here and push up against this. If you're holding forward in the right position, you should be able to get a jump like that. And the next mechanic, which I'll be able to show you a little bit better for the second skip, is pressing A and X at the same time, and she does kind of a glitchy jump there. It gives her just a little bit of extra height on the jump, and then there's a second jump that we need to get there to get up top, and we can skip opening up that first wall and come straight here and open up the second area, and the game just automatically rises the water level to the second area. So it's a nice little skip. Doesn't save a whole lot of time, but it saves time, so we want to do it. Now, there's a trap right here, which unfortunately the game actually disables your jump button until you step on it right there. So it's kind of interesting. I thought about shooting it, but if you just run over it and hit A, it's faster that way instead of looking down like that and shooting it open. A nice little speed trick here. There's the trap, and you step on that, there'll be the spike things that come from the ceiling. The cool thing about this one is we could jump over it and don't have to deal with it whatsoever. So kind of a nice thing there. Alright, so now into this room. Typically you're supposed to shoot this down. Then you open up the water there. Hop onto this. It opens up the water a little bit. And this board floats over to the right. The water also knocks you off of the platform, so you hop onto the new board, then you can wall jump up these up the wall here and get up top. But using our A pump thing, we call it AX pumping, so really it's just hit A and X at the same time and you can go up certain slopes just like that. So that's really what it is. So for this skip, what we want to do is we want to AX pump up this into the corner right here 3 times. And then we want to jump on the 4th one to get over there. Now, for those that are on PC, I say AX, that's what the controls are on Xbox. For PC, it's whatever it's going to be. And it's really just hitting jump and your X button. Oh gosh, whatever, the same button, at least on console, it's this button right here to pick up items. So whatever that's bound to. So what we're going to do is just get up right here, hit AX at the same time. The way everybody just does it is we mash. We just constantly hit it until we get 3 jumps there, like that. And then after you get the 3rd, just stop hitting X. So I'm holding the controller in the upright position, or the joystick, and then I hit up left in A to get the jump up here. This is actually quite tricky. It does take a bit to get. On runs, it can take me up to 3 tries to do, but it's really not too bad once you get it. Notice you didn't do the 3rd jump there, so I kind of had to abandon it. And so sometimes that happens too. So what I try to do is go up the route right here, straight up into the corner. And camera angle is really up to you on what you want to do. Sometimes that happens. That could actually still have worked. But I'm just more comfortable if I'm actually up in the corner, because if you miss, you have to jump down like that and get all the way over. So it just takes a little bit of practice, but once you get it, it's really not too bad. Also note that you have to grab the top part of the pillar there. There's a section right here that looks like you can grab. Nope, you actually have to grab all the way up at the top. And then once you're here, you can grab the top of this. This is the end of the puzzle. It triggers this cutscene. We could skip it, and boom. The rest of this area is very much the same. Just playing it normally. So I'm gonna exit back out. You'll notice that I'm doing chapter replay. This allows me to skip sections of the game, and it's gonna make this tutorial much shorter than doing a full game walkthrough and just say, oh, by the way, skip ahead about 20 minutes, you know, something like that. So we're going to go ahead and skip ahead to the next section. Yep, just double checking it's where I want to be. Go ahead and get rid of all these. Alright, so after we get out of the Prophet's Tomb, we're now into the Siberian Wilderness here. I probably could do Score Attack. It does skip some of the slower sections at the start of chapters. So I might do that for later chapters. So you'll just have to ignore the points and the wisps that I'm collecting. But the gameplay will be exactly the same. All the tricks still work.
Come on. You can do this. Move.
So right here, since we're in deep snow, you can't jump or anything here, except for the very end. Right there, I actually got the jump. It's kind of a tight window. I'd say maybe 2 frames to hit it, but it's kind of interesting to see a little bit of a glitchy jump there.
Okay. This might work. Not enough to last the night. Need to gather more. Dry enough to burn.
So unfortunately with this section, in the skip that I'm going to be showing, I can't show the full thing, but I'll explain it the best I can. You can just look at a run, and you'll see the parts that I won't be able to do here. It's very, very minor of what I can't do.
Back to camp.
But unfortunately for the start, I've got to do all of this normally.
Damn it.
Skip a couple cutscenes once I get to the camp here, and then we'll go see the bear.
Going to need a stronger bow.
So you're forced to upgrade your bow here, and if you're fast enough when you get to the main menu here and get over to your skills, since I'm on chapter replay it didn't show it, but there's a tutorial about different outfits. If you can get to the skills menu fast enough, you'll have the outfit kind of tutorial thing on the screen here, but you can still navigate behind it right here, so you don't have to deal with it. It basically eliminates an A press. That's all that it really does. So the very first skill that you want to pick up is Lightfoot. This is going to help save us on the next skip. Also is the fastest method of movement. So Lightfoot, so it's the third in the survivor skills, and the fourth one over. So it's yeah. So anyway, we pick that up. We back out, and off we go.
These ruins here. Mongolian. Trinity. They're here.
So as you can see, I'm jumping and rolling. That's Lightfoot in action. right now that looks to be the fastest method of movement.
How was that?
Especially going uphill. Uphill, it's either going to be just straight up jumping if it's very steep, but if it's just a regular uphill slope that's not too steep, then you can jump and roll. Oops, accidentally hit the back button there. So now we're up to the skip here. This skip was found by Ella,
This wound.
and the method that he found is quite interesting.
This leash has done the
And I'll talk about it a little bit, mainly because we might find a use for it elsewhere in the game. But it's actually something that I don't use in runs myself. There's an alternate method that I used that was found by a guy named Itis.
Cold War installation. What the hell is trying to do?
So you're required to do all of this to heal.
More Mongol ruins. Looks like the path goes.
And the thought process behind this skip is Lara says, oh, we need to get all the way over there. We have to get past the bear. Well, what if we got out of bounds and just went straight there? And that was the whole thought process behind this. So what I'm going to show you is I'm going to try to get underneath this tree. It's kind of weird to do, but you just literally just jump, and then you keep jumping, and then you get this glitchy thing. And then from here, the controls to get out of bounds is you need to move a little bit to the left, and the goal is to get behind this short fence. There's an invisible wall preventing you from getting over there, so the only way to do it is by jumping underneath this tree in a really weird way. And it's completely random. You just want to keep hitting A. You can hit A and X if you want, and then hopefully you get over. And there's other sections to where you could do this in the game, but right now that's the only use we have. So you have two options for the other method that I'm going to show you. You can jump from over here. I believe the Runner Samurai Blue does that. For me, I jump from here, but the goal is to land in the same spot no matter what. Right now, we're actually out of bounds, and there's a death floor like an inch below where Lara is standing, so it's kind of a tricky jump, but once you get used to it, it's really not too bad. But you can land right here. Then the goal is we want to jump to the left of this tree and get up onto the surface there. The jump is not difficult at all. It's really easy. And now we're wedged in between these two trees. So what we want to do here is we're going to hold aim and then press forward and to the right a little bit. What that does is it pushes Lara into this tree trunk, and it kind of pushes her up onto this rock. And getting up onto this rock is what we want to do. The reason we have to go around is there's an invisible wall, as you might imagine. So that's how we get up here. It's actually quite simple. Literally just hold aim and slip your way up. Quite simple. So from here we want to jump over this barbed wire. It's actually not as tall as it looks. You can just do a normal jump. I hit X just to be safe. Make sure I land over here. But once we get down here, we're actually all set. Now, there's a couple things that I need to do. First off, because there's a lot of things I can explain here. So first things first, I'm going to show you the actual skip that we use in runs. And so when going up mountains like this, just hit A and X when Lara can't move up, and that just lets you jump up a little bit easier. Then, once you get here, I don't know if this has been confirmed on the 360 version, but on the Xbox One version, you can walk on this bridge. It's not a problem whatsoever. It's completely solid. But we have an issue. We have this section right here, which is not solid. It's a big gap, and we can't make the jump. So, what we need to do is get over here, and you know what? I might even test it, but you can get on. Might be able to get onto the left side as well. But come up here. Actually, that's why we don't want to go onto the right side. So I just answered my own question. From here, there's a little bit of a gap, So just mind the gap, jump over. But once you get over to here, you can just drop down onto the bridge. And this mountain actually won't deload in the main game. That was kind of interesting. Since I'm on chapter replay, it does that. So from here, I'm going to explain the rest, but I actually need to backtrack to show the other things. So what we need to do, you can watch this in a run. You're going to drop down here, make sure you roll when you hit the ground, and visit the camp. All you need to do is visit the camp, then back out of it, pause the game, reload checkpoint. The reason we need to do that is there's several things that need to, that does. The main thing that it does is it allows the area prior, the whole area that we just skipped, to load in. And we need to backtrack down this way into the cavern to a certain point. You can look at my runs to see where that is. And once you pass that point, you can turn back around. It gives you another checkpoint, and once you exit the cave, it triggers another cutscene. And it's that cutscene that we actually need to trigger so that the Soviet installation here that we're about to go to loads correctly. Because right now, it's not loaded correctly, and the game soft locks. So that's why we need to trigger that cutscene. And I will talk about the next skip in just a second. But for now, I need to backtrack to show you the other little bit of this skip, which I've never actually done this backwards, so this will be kind of interesting to try to do. I don't know how possible it is. But it looks like it's entirely possible. Cool. Alright, so be careful out of bounds. Some things are not as solid as they seem. So, anyway, from here, what we can actually do is keep going down. So notice this isn't solid. But if you're very careful about these rocks and make sure you don't fall too far, you can keep going down this area until you get to this point right down here, and you will recognize this position in just a second because I will show you another way to get here that we actually do use in runs. But we can actually get there from up in the camp, and this section that I am showing you is not something we use in a run, but hopefully somebody can find a use for it. So there's videos on YouTube that you can use to show how to use this out of bounds to get down into the next section of the game, but we've noticed that if we don't grab the pistol in this building, the game will soft lock. So if you stay to the right, you can get around this fence here and make your way in that direction, and you can actually get to the next area. And you know what, I can actually show just a little bit of that. I don't remember the exact route, so I might screw something up. You have to forgive me on that. There we go. So the problem that we have here is we got a long drop. There's areas off to the right here with some rocks that we can easily make our way down. You can make it up top over there by crossing a very specific path across these beams. It's actually quite difficult to do, but you can feel free to experiment, do whatever you need to do. But you can go down these rocks, get into the water, and from the water you can easily make it to the other side and try to find something, find some use. But right now, like I said, it soft locks the game, and that kind of screws us over for runs. So back to the exposition menu so I can load the next area and show you the next skip. Doing the skip that I just described, though, what that skips is it skips you going back, learning how to make poison arrows, learning how to take down enemies from above them, which actually changes the final boss, by the way. So you have to look at speedruns to see how we have to deal with that. It's not that big of a deal. It's literally just an alternate strategy. It doesn't cause any problems, but we can't do any kind of death from above skill. And so it also skips the bear and going through the cavern. So in the end, it saves between 4 and 5 minutes. So from here, like I said, with the other skip, we've just visited this camp. Then we turn around. In chapter replay, this area is blocked off, but you just walk back in there. So that's the section I was talking about. So once we hit the cutscene, keep in mind this is going to look different here. The area down there is going to look like it's in daylight, but where we're at, it's actually at night. So it's kind of a weird lighting thing. So just keep that in mind. It's going to look a little bit different. But if you follow the path in a run, that'll help you out. And that'll confirm that you're doing everything right. So what we want to do here is we want to jump up on top of this rock. You can either do an AX pump, or if you're far enough to the left, you can actually just jump up like that without it. This next jump is quite tricky to do. So find out what works for you, just experiment, and even for me, I'll screw this up 4 or 5 times in a run, so it's kind of hard to explain. Oh, the other thing. Notice here in the upper right hand corner, I actually have poison arrows. In a speedrun, we skip poison arrows entirely, so we can never actually make them. So, a little fun fact for you there. And so, we want to jump about right here. Like I said, experiment, find out what works for you. You're going to jump forward and mash A and X, and if you get a good spot like I did, you can get up here. And remember I said to remember this area? This is the exact spot that I was standing on. So... that's how we get up here in actual runs. That was found by a guy named Shadow Mist. He's got a channel on YouTube. So he showed a couple ways to get out of bounds. That's the one that we have a use for. I've experimented with the others, but unfortunately haven't found anything. So from here, the path is kind of weird because of the trees in the way, but you just want to come in this direction here. Now, a lot of the times when we're out of bounds, we need to get into a tight spot there. Lara's standing up straight, and unless she's in some kind of stealth combat, she's not going to duck down. Also, there's some nice geometry out there. So there's 2 ways to get down there. The easiest way is to just come up right next to where you want to go, jump, and on your way down, press forward, and she'll come through, just like that. So once you're here, jump forward. Now here's the one thing you want to avoid. Do not walk out this way. The reason for that is it's going to load in this area. We don't want the area to load in, as I will show you in just a second. If the area does load in though, there is a backup strategy, and it's totally fine. What? Lara, please. That was new and interesting. Anyway. So, this is proof the Skywalker does exist. And it really does suck to get it in this section because it's pain to get out of. But there we go. So, you want to jump into this, what's it called? Grate. There we go. And right now it's not loaded. If this area loads in, that's going to load. So it's not time-based. As you can see, I could sit here forever. So just like before, you're going to jump, and when she lands, notice she ducks down when she lands. So that's when you want to hit forward and go through. It just takes a second to practice it. It's not all that difficult. But now, I don't think I'm going to be able to show you because I have an invisible wall now. So, yeah, this is unfortunate. If this area does load in on you, there is a backup strategy. So I can't really show it because I don't want to load in the area, but behind this pillar right here, if you get up against the wall and do a door clip, which I'll show you in a second how to do, you can do it against the wall, and with that, you can still get into this area. And now that I think about it, on 360, you have to do that method because this area does not load in fast enough, and Lara will fall to her death. So what will happen is you'll clip the wall about right here, and you'll fall down here. So that's what happens there, and I believe that's what they have to do on the 360. So if you look at Samurai Blue's run, you can see how to do that. Also, this sand right here is actually water for some reason. And I don't know why. If I could show it to you. So you can see it just splashes with water. No idea why. It's kind of weird. So anyway. Open this door. Then once you get in here, like I said, the reason we have to come down here is we have to pick up the pistol. So just run over here. We get the pistol. Yay. So on the 360 version, you can just come straight into this room, clip this door, and move on. Unfortunately, on the Xbox One, we cannot clip that door. This door, however, we can. It's just difficult to do, so I'm going to try to do it to show you how to clip. You know what? No, because I'm going to show you how to clip in a reasonable location that's actually possible. So on Xbox One, once we skip that cutscene, we can actually reload a checkpoint here. And what this does is it reloads this area, so we actually have these two guys alive. So you don't necessarily need a headshot on the first guy, but the second guy you do to kill him in one shot. Then we open this up and we continue like normal. So that's it with this section. The next section that I'm going to move up to is the Soviet Gulag. There it is. And with this, to save a little bit of time, I'm actually going to go to score attack. This is just going to skip a handful of walking and talking and story progression at the beginning. So to save a little bit of time, I'll just do it in score attack. Par time is 14 minutes. This section's actually a lot shorter than that. It's possible to do this in like 5, maybe 4 minutes. Unfortunately, the main loading and fast travel loading in this game is extremely long, and it sucks. Alright, so here we are in the Soviet Gulag. We've got a lot of enemies here. We're supposed to get over to the control room there, open up the gate to be able to get over here. Then we can create a rope bridge, or a rope thing to get up there. And then we can climb around this outside and get in, trigger cutscene. But thankfully, in the combined efforts of Itis and Samurai Blue, we can use this door right here. So you want to stand on the left side here, or the right side if you're facing away. We're going to face away from here. Now, after you do enough door clips, you might recognize that sometimes once you get into this position, you can actually go ahead and skip this next step. But it just comes with practice. So the main thing is you want to back walk into the door. So I'm actually holding left trigger and down. I'm going to hit B. This gets Lara in position, and it looks like this. The screen kind of shudders, and that's actually a really good sign. Now I'm going to hold down right on the right stick to aim things around. And with this door, we need to do a complete 180 to be able to clip all the way in, because there's 2 doors that we actually have to clip through. Some doors we actually don't have to do that with, and I'll show you. The next one is a bit different. From here, we need to get to the top of the room. So you have a couple options. You can jump up on top of this to get up here, or if you want, you can just come over here and do a wall jump, and that gets you up here as well. So there's 2 options there. But we do need to do a wall jump again, which sometimes it doesn't let you. There we go. And yay for me for missing a jump. So once we're up here, the cutscene, you enter the window over there, and this is where the cutscene takes place, where you meet Jacob. So we're out of bounds. We're going to run up these stairs. This flooring is actually solid here, so it's not too bad, but we do have to jump to get through this. Then you just run over to this corner. You might see some speedrunners jumping through there. It's just a little bit faster. Now we're in this room, and we've got this wall in our way, so we're actually going to clip the wall. So same thing. Hold back, down and scramble, and you notice the camera kind of changes. You just rotate around, and boom, you're through. It's that simple. Now, we can actually go ahead and skip up even further. Unfortunately, we really need the assault rifle. So, instead of continuing on out of bounds, we're going to hop back in right here. And if you have Lightfoot, you would actually roll there, but since I'm doing score attack, I don't have Lightfoot. So then from here, we're going to open this up and get the assault rifle.
Come on.
You're gonna die.
Make sure you're running here so that you can beat that lantern, and that makes it easier to get past these enemies. So you don't have to deal with killing any of them or anything like that. The first 3 you have to because you're in a slowdown. You normally can't skip this cutscene. That was really weird that the game is telling me I can skip it. So once the cutscene's done, craft your grenade and move on. Unfortunately, I don't have any healing, so this is going to be kind of interesting. If you find yourself unable to heal and you've got a lot of enemies shooting you like that, scramble only. And if you do that, you actually abuse a lot of invincibility frames, so it's a really good thing to know. Just constantly scramble.
Jacob? Is that you, Jacob?
Lara, be careful.
Now, if you have tight enough movement, you can actually get through this section here all the way up to be able to grab that healing herb and back to this camp before you can even visit it. And unfortunately, during score attack, I can't visit the camp. So the skill, we have either 1 or 2 skill points here, and the ones you want to pick up are your health increase. So there, I think it's thick-skinned. I don't know if I'm going to be able to actually look at anything I got in terms of skills. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So hopefully I remember later to show that. But that's our second camp visit. And from there, we really want the health upgrade. So this next section is going to be kind of interesting to do without it. This is a very fast clip that you need to do, and it's a lot different, so I'm going to explain it as best as I can on the go. So we get up to this door, same thing, get up on it, back scramble, and rotate and stop around right there. And the reason you want to do that is because for some reason, that's how to clip that door. And since I don't have any way to heal or any skill that lets me take less damage, this is actually going to be quite difficult to do. So I'll at least get it once, hopefully, to show you what it looks like. You can look at a run as well. It's pretty consistent. It's not too bad. So it looks just like that. So you notice I stopped here and I was still holding down right, and I was able to clip through. Sometimes when you clip through the door, you'll actually bump up top here and clip through up there. That happened to me once. It was really weird. But then I clip through and continue on like normal. A little bit of a shortcut. Since I'm in score attack, it might not play, but if you jump from back here over the railing, you actually skip the a little bit of the staircase because of the walking while talking section. And you get up here and continue on. So that's the end of this section and the end of the clips there. The copper mill, there is an out of bounds that we can do, but it skips getting the Molotovs, which are very useful, and the end of the out of bounds section is quite difficult to do. So I'll load this in and show you where the out of bounds is at least, but from there you can experiment. I think it was Corvée that found it. I could be wrong. But you can go on to speedrun.com, go into the forums for this game, and that'll show you a lot of the videos that people have posted of skips for this game. So unfortunately, I am going to be loading in the copper mill just to show you one quick thing, but I have to do a relatively difficult clip as well to get to that section. Oh, if you look at my runs, I typically explain this in every single run that I do, but throughout the copper mill, you need to be very careful, because if you do that Soviet Gulag skip that I was talking about, where you clip through 2 doors at once, that one causes a lot of black screens to happen. One happens a little bit back there on your way to the copper mill, and then there's 3 that happen in the copper mill. Just be careful with those. You can get used to them. They're really not too bad to deal with. You just have to make sure you don't die. So there's a regular clip, by the way, just getting out. So they're really consistent. So to do the out of bounds for the copper mill, get on top of this rock right here and just do an AX pump up this way and then over to the right. I haven't done it in a while. There we go. So once you get up here, it's actually quite simple. There's some invisible walls to the left. So to continue on, you need to actually jump down into here. Then you get down here, and unfortunately you have to kind of clip your way through to the other side of this fence, which is kind of a pain in the butt, and then you can move on up that way and skip a good section of the copper mill. It would save about 40 to 50 seconds if done perfectly. But the clip right there that I didn't do actually is kind of a pain in the butt. So another reason why it's not fully worth it in runs just yet. Ah, Prophet's Blessing. Absolutely. Let's talk about the Prophet's Blessing. The Prophet's Blessing has a skip that is only possible on the 360. Right now we can't do it on Xbox One, and man, this is really unfortunate that it's starting me here.
What did they find down here?
Enough to make them curious. They use machines and explosives to dig deeper. Did quite a lot of damage. Many of the old paths collapsed, but it's safe now.
So you have to bear with me for a little bit to do this kind of normally for a second. If you're watching this via YouTube or my Twitch highlight, feel free to skip ahead about maybe 2 to 3 minutes.
And there's no other way through.
I'm afraid not. Not anymore. This complicates things.
What's the problem? Behind schedule. Shh. Hold on. The wires here are corroded, but I think I can bypass it. Almost ready.
They're gonna bring the whole place down.
The Soviets destroyed.
There's 2 sections in the game. This is one of them right here, where you can actually skip that cutscene right where I did. It's quite random to get it, but it saves maybe a quarter to a half of a second. Make sure you know where that rock drops so that she doesn't climb up on it. It's faster to jump up onto it. And then from here, just jump and roll. Unfortunately, I don't have any skills, so I can't show that.
Jacob, are you there? Can you hear me? This is bad.
Alright, so in this section we've got 3 guys that we need to take care of. Actually don't need headshots. Except for this guy. If you can shoot him in the heart, that'll kill him easily. Otherwise, it's faster to either take pot shots at him and just kill him via health, or if you can pull off 2 headshots, which is what I'm trying to do here. There we go. That would be a little bit faster. There was a thought to skip doing everything here by jumping on top of this little terminal thing. Unfortunately, the developers kind of thought of that, it seems, and they're like, nope, we're not letting you stand on top of that. So we can't actually skip to get up there. I've tried finding something around here to do like an AX pump up the walls, but she just kind of slides down everything. So if anybody wants to try to find a skip for this room, that would be fantastic.
This should come in handy. Shit. Now what?
So here we get the combat knife. Another spot to save time is if we could actually get an AX pump right here, because where we end is right there. It's literally right there. It's so close. So a lot of theorized ideas to skip this section, but it seems like the developers kind of thought of that and said, I don't want you skipping anything in our game. Yeah, unfortunately it seems like Square Enix is kind of anti-speedrun because they patch our stuff.
Could this be part of the lost city?
Alright, so hopefully I can... Yes. Alright. So now I'm out of camp, and so the very first skill we picked up was Lightfoot. Then at the second camp, what you want to pick up is Thick-Skinned, and if you have a second one there, pick up Ironhide. Ironhide is actually not all that important, but it is good to have. It's mainly used for later on in the game, or more useful later on in the game. But, normally speaking, don't visit that camp. There's no need to yet. So from here, to talk a couple strategies, make sure you have arrows. You can watch my run to see how I get arrows here. Because I do the majority of the game without arrows. And that's kind of a glitchy run, where she's like running while getting heat from a fire. That's kind of funny. Why does she... What? She's acting as if she's still next to the camp. That's so weird. I don't understand it. Anyway, if you're fast enough here, you can actually explode that. And it kills all except for one guy. This guy, unfortunately, I was too slow and he moved on ahead. But this guy here, we can go ahead and take care of. But you do that and you quickly take out these guys, so it makes things nice and quick. Alright, now let's talk about this room and speedrunning it. So, we have a big door here. There is a way to get out of bounds and behind the door, but nothing loads. The load trigger is like the collapsing cutscene at the end of this section. So there's actually no way to skip this area. So on normal gameplay and on Xbox One, we have to get up onto this rope, get over there, get onto that rope, and slide down. The one thing that was never tested. I wonder if you can get up onto this rope here. It doesn't look like it'd be useful though towards the end trying to get up and out, but it's an idea. So if somebody wants to test that, that's something to test. But if you're on 360, you get to do a different skip. I love this glitch. That's really funny. So we have this lamp here, and what we want to do is AX pump to get to the other side. So the way to do it, this, oh my gosh, this is really glitchy actually. So it's quite random, and I'm thinking it's actually not working because Lara is glitched out because she's not getting the height she's supposed to on these jumps. And I'm not getting the AX pump. This is really weird. I'm going to try reloading checkpoint. Hopefully that fixes the issue. Okay, that fixes the issue. She's no longer grabbing for the heat of the fire. Alright. So, like I said, this is kind of random. You want to jump into this corner and get behind this lamp. You can either jump like straight into the lamp like this and then eventually she'll pop through, but the other method is to go a little bit to the right here, and there's one spot that you can actually get her to do an extra jump and get the height to get over top of this lamp. But as you can see, it's quite difficult to do. It might be a hair easier on 360. I don't know that for a fact. But it'd be really nice if I could show this to you guys. But it doesn't look like it's going to cooperate. But I would definitely not want to do this in a run. There we go. No! It pushed me back out. Darn game. But once you get to the other side of it, you want to kind of scramble and roll to try to work your way through. I do apologize if this is going to take a while, because this skip really does suck. Also, since it's not possible on the Xbox One, I've only done it like once or twice to test things, and that's about it. There we go. Get to the other side, roll through. There we go. So that's what it looks like. So once you get to the other side of that lamp, just roll through, you get out of bounds right here. So jump over to this section. Now the next thing, we need to jump around this corner. So it seems like a scary jump, but it's really not too bad. Just jump around the corner like so. And down here, you actually don't need to hit the wall like that. I just did it by accident. But you get down here, and we have this. Pull that open. I don't remember those being there. What the hell are those? Okay. Anyway, you come up here and we come up to this barrier. And on this barrier, you clip it like normal, but this is the clip that you can't do on Xbox One, or at least I've tried for a while and have never been able to get through. I've tried the multiple methods of where I stop and try to get through. Unfortunately, I haven't found a way. It almost looked like I have a section right here that I might be able to, but I actually can't. Tried with it, so it doesn't actually work. But once you clip through there, you can pull that open. Then you come back here, grab a hold of this, and you can get up through there. That barrier won't actually be there, but the trigger for the next area to be there correctly is going through that wall. So the enemies actually spawn, which is quite interesting, but there's supposed to be a ladder right here to get up, and that's not there. So that's why we can't actually do that skip. But you get over to the other side, do the rest of this normal, and you're out. That's the end of this section. The Afflicted, the village. Trying to think. Let's just go ahead and do it normal, like chapter replay. So the village has really no skips that we know of that are usable in runs. The reason I'm loading it up is to at least talk about a glitch. I have a highlight of it, and I've got a video up on my YouTube channel that shows you the use of this glitch and how you can do it in a run and be able to skip the fire arrows. The fire arrows literally are used once, and they're the requirement here when you first get them to light the signal fire. That's the only time we use the fire arrows throughout the run. And even on casual gameplay, I don't think I've ever used them except for like challenge tombs where they're required. Normally I'd have Lightfoot here. Also, moving fast through this section lowers the frame rate of the game, so it's kind of interesting. Alright, so to show you I'll at least talk about the glitch here and show you what can happen. But just note that I'm not going to sit here and continuously try it until it works. But I want to at least have it in this video. So you get up here to this section. This was found by Bad at Games, and he tweeted it to me on Twitter. So if you look at the bridge over there, if I come to the right, the bridge will actually unload. So it's not there, but if I jump towards it, it pops back in. So I'm really thinking this glitch has something to do with the load triggers, because this does not work on the 360 version. And I have no idea about the PC version, because the PC version might not have to unload stuff here, so it might not work. But on Xbox One, just come over here an inch to the right, and eventually she'll kind of hop like that and either fall down, she might continuously hump the wall, which looks really funny, or some amazing things will happen. You can tilt the camera like I did, or you can have it up like this. Right now, I don't think it really matters, but oh, this is actually really cool. So, quickly figure out where you're at. Alright, cool. So, I happen to know this map very well to where I knew where I can run to. And I got myself back in bounds. This whole area is now loading around me. So, that's really nice. And you might notice this is after the flamethrower boss, and we can just continue on, right? Unfortunately, if you skip the shotgun, the game soft locks at the end of the Acropolis. So because of that, we have to backtrack. And depending on where you end up when you do that glitch, it really depends on how much you have to backtrack. You can end up pretty close to the shotgun section, or that cutscene, or you end up as far up as there. So if you end up from there, this is actually kind of good because I can show you where to go. If you end up elsewhere out of bounds, just don't move and then try to figure it out from there. I have not run into any section to where I could not figure out how to get back in bounds. But if you have trouble with a section, get a video of it and PM it to me, and I'll explain how to get back in bounds from there. So here's where you get your shotgun, that cutscene is. So what we need to do is just come back in here, get past that tree, turn back around, and then the cutscene will trigger. Skip the cutscene, and here we are. We have our shotgun, and we can continue as normal, except on the 360 version. So on the 360 version, there's a door to my left that they can actually clip through. So take out all the enemies. I purposely stayed in here so I don't trigger a cutscene. But this door right here, there's a video on YouTube that you can search for, but you can clip through it on the 360 version and get through. And clipping here, what this does, and I've tried to find other locations to do it on Xbox One, and I just can't find a location. There's no extra door. Actually, I haven't tried this door, to be honest. So this would be really cool if I find something here. I think I've tried this when I was experimenting with other stuff, but yeah, it doesn't look like I can clip it. But what they can do is they can clip through this door and get around to where I ended up getting back in bounds before, after I did the clip. And I just jumped back in bounds right here and ran through. So they can actually get around over there and skip these guys and this next boss and the cutscenes afterwards. So the 360 has a little bit of an advantage there. But that's the end of this section, and that's actually really cool. I got the fire arrow skip. But that is rare. That is completely rare. Let me say this right now. It is very rare to get it. I have not found a consistent way to do it, so if you can find a consistent way to do it, that's awesome, because that will save us about 4 minutes. Alright, so let's go ahead and move on forward. The Acropolis, we had the Narnia skip, but that got patched. So because of that, we don't have any skips anymore in the Acropolis. The Narnia skip was found by Ella, and it really only saved about 10 to 15 seconds. The tower doesn't have anything. That's a challenge too. Approaching Storm. This is the Silent Night area, and a little bit of the next section. If you watch a run, I'm not going to load this up for a very, very short skip. Just watch a run, you'll see there's a corner that we cut. It saves about 7 seconds or so, but it's at the end of this section. The Flooded Archives, yes, it does start where I think it does. So this is a section that I can load in and talk about. Alright, so now we get into the section where we see the atlas. So walking into this room, Lara points out the atlas down there. And then we have a camp. At this camp, we have a lot of skill points to spend. So at this point, the game just automatically gives me all of these skills. But remember, we picked up Lightfoot, and we picked up Thick-Skinned and potentially Ironhide as well. So from here, let's see if I can remember all the skills without actually having them. So I would pick up Ironhide, Dodge Counter, Arrow Retrieval, Scavenger, the Incendiary Bombs, and I think either that's it and there's one left, or I have to waste a skill and just put it anywhere. And then there's one left that we have left over. This should unlock tier 2 skills and get Demolitions Expert. This is crucial for this next area. You must have this skill. That's why we visit this camp. And this is also the second to last camp that we visit. So we visit 4 camps total in runs. We try to minimize it as much as possible. So we want Demolitions Expert. Unfortunately, I don't have any skill points available, so I can't pick it up. So I can't fully show you how this next section is supposed to go, but the concept will at least be there for you to understand.
That smell. Oh no. Burned alive.
Also keep in mind, I haven't talked about upgrading any weapons or anything else other than skills. That's because we don't do it at all. It's not needed.
Oh god.
If you've played the game casually, you know at the end there's a bit of a difficulty spike. The guys at the end just have a lot of extra health. And you get used to figuring out how to take them out. Just 2 point-blank shots with a shotgun will do it, or an explosion. Alright, so now that we are in this room, I have to explain 2 different things. If you're on the 360 version, you can easily make it into the second room. You have 2 options. You can clip this door, which I cannot do on the Xbox One version, or you can get up onto these windowsill things and clip this, which we can do on the Xbox One. So, plain and simple, easy enough. We get into the second room. Unfortunately, there's no triggers, nothing's happening here, but the next section is on the other side of this door. And on the 360, as you might imagine, just go ahead and clip the door, get through, boom, move on. You're done. Sadly, we cannot do that on the Xbox One. We can't clip these doors. So, because of that, we actually have to pick up the Atlas. I don't even know if I can clip back into the other room. Oh, I can. Okay. By the way, there's an example of me clipping without needing to back scramble. So like I said, sometimes Lara just gets into the correct position. So on Xbox One, we need to trigger this cutscene, walk forward a little bit, explode that, it kills the one guy that's going to be in our way. Then we pull out our bow. By the way, pulling out your bow is best for clipping. So you clip through here. Once you clip in here, that's going to trigger these guys to automatically start opening up that door. But they will be shooting at you, so you want to run away. So just come over here, not a problem. And just wait. Once these guys explode in, you'll notice in the lower right-hand corner, you'll get a checkpoint. It doesn't show up here, but it actually was there. Once that happens, reload checkpoint. What this does is it takes care of everybody else. Everybody's now dead except for the second room. So create a Molotov. Once these guys land, throw it there. It will kill everybody, but like I said, I don't have Demolitions Expert, so 1 or 2 guys are still going to be alive. And it was just 1, so that's quite impressive, actually. Then we want to pick up another Molotov here. And same thing, you're going to want to throw it right about here. Wait a second for these guys to walk forward and throw it out, and that should take care of everybody. But like I said, I don't have Demolitions Expert, so I can't show it to you. But as you notice, I think I killed like all except like 1 or 2. So that's not bad. So once you do that, the flames are gone, we can continue on. So that's the end of this section. From here, there's actually no more skips that I can think of that we do. There is an out of bounds in the research base. I'm not going to load it up because I can't show it to you. Right now it's only 360 only. You could take a look at Samurai Blue's run for the out of bounds in the research base. The Orrery. Doggone it, I can't show this either. So the Orrery starts at the observatory, and there is a skip for the observatory. So, to quickly explain the observatory, all you need to do is get down to where this chapter would actually load in. Get down into the bottom of the observatory, it loads it in, and has a very short cutscene. Then climb your way all the way back up to the top. There's a door that goes into the very top of the observatory. All you need to do is clip that door. That's one of the doors that you don't want to rotate completely to clip through. At least on Xbox One. 360, it's a little bit easier. But once you clip through that, you can run straight across the top of the observatory and move on. So it skips this whole section, saves about 2.5 to 3 minutes. Path of the Deathless is pretty straightforward. Gate of Kitezh, I think that's where I'm at, where I want to be. Yes. So the Gate of Kitezh, this is our final skip of the game. So cool. This will conclude my walkthrough and discussion. So I tried to talk about all of the stuff that we know about and what we can do. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. But feel free to experiment. This game runs on the same engine as 2013. So all of the tech that we can do in that game is theoretically possible here if we have the moves. So notice door clipping is different. It's because we don't have the shove move. They got rid of it. You immediately have your pickaxe attack, which happens to unlock when you unlock tier 2 skills on Tomb Raider 2013. So the rest of the run is pretty much straightforward. It's just knowing the route, knowing where to go. If you have any questions about any enemy manipulations or stuff like that, feel free to PM me. But a lot of the fights I think are pretty straightforward if you just follow my strategy. There's going to be really only one fight that I can think of that's quite difficult to do.
The Chamber of Souls. The Divine Source has to be there. Looks like the way into the city center is through that gate.
Oh, you know what? Let me talk about the final camp visit because I did skip that. Since I skipped the sections. So, the final camp, you can just follow a speedrun, and you'll see where I visit the final camp. We're going to pick up skills. There's not many that we're actually going to be picking up, but you want crafting mastery. That's not the one I was thinking of.
Over the years, all that experience and knowledge, it's difficult to fathom.
Although that wouldn't be a bad thing to have, so I do apologize. This is what we need. Deadly Force. That'll help out. I'm trying to remember. We want the Field Medic. And
understand the true nature of the soul, or will it unlock some
where is
new
that skill?
scientific discovery? One thing is certain. It's too important to allow Trinity to control.
Oh, that's pretty sad. If you have any extra, you can get the Naturalist. Oh, I feel terrible that I can't figure out where that skill is. Oh, this is... I'm an idiot. This is the main one that we need. Wow, I'm an idiot. So, Deadly Force is the main one that you want to get, and Field Medic is another one that you want to pick up. I think you only have 2, so just pick up those. If you have another, Death from Above is useless, so don't pick that up. Dodge Kill could help. The other one that you could potentially get is Naturalist. And that's it. You should already have Demolitions Expert. So, anyway. Sorry for the mix-up. It's a lot easier when you're doing it in a run, because you just kind of have that muscle memory. I don't have to think about what skills to grab. So once you get down here, this is the biggest skip in the game that we have. This was found by Corvée, and Ella is the one that found the route to use it. On Xbox One, we can just quickly jump up and through the wall there. On the 360, let's see if I could show you the wall. There we go. On the 360, if you get to the left side of the stump, you can actually clip the wall like normal. And if you're having trouble to where you couldn't just jump through like I just did, reload checkpoint. That'll put you back on top of the buildings over there and just try it again. Sometimes the wall will actually load in and be solid. Now from here, just follow this route. I'm not going to really talk about the route because what is there to really say? I'll try to talk about things that I've noticed on the way, but other than that, this saves about 10 minutes or so, maybe just a shade less off of very fast runs. But this skips us having to go to the first gate, opening it, dealing with the enemies, opening the second gate, dealing with more enemies, a required fight, and a puzzle, and then another required fight that it skips. Right here, when you get up to this section, the flooring down here is not actually solid, so I recommend jumping to about there. Make sure you're running, jump there. The lowest you should land is about that. And just keep AX pumping to the right just a little bit, then come to the left. So I'm just holding pretty much straight up and a little bit to the left. And you'll get up top here. When you get up to this section, to make things easier on yourself, because Lara is invisible, all you have to do is just keep jumping forward. And then once you get here, obviously you're on top of that. You just get used to being able to do this without seeing Lara. Now you might be thinking you could just go over the rocks here that way. Don't do it because it will actually hit a load trigger for a tower thing that's going to put right here. You can get around it without a problem, but it's just more consistent and easier to not load it in and go this way. From here we do have a little bit of a far jump, so just jump at that angle. And if you don't land on the other side, you actually land down here, you might start sliding down. Just do AX pumps and you can get up here. Like I said, we call them AX pumps, but it's just because we're hitting A and X and we're constantly pumping the buttons, we're mashing them, so that's what everybody called them. Then from here, just follow this path. Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot to say, just follow the path here. If I had Lightfoot, I would be jumping and rolling, but I don't have that ability. Now on... I believe the 360 version is slightly different than the Xbox One for this section here, because they're off a patch. And I believe loading is slightly different to begin with. But initially, if you look at the first videos of this, or my initial runs, I would go up to this wall here and just walk straight through it. Due to patch number 2, I believe, this wall right here became solid. Yes, it was patch number 2, now that I think about it. So this wall became solid, we couldn't go through, so we needed to find an alternate method. But that's totally cool, because we just hop up onto this wall here, and AX pump ourselves over, and not a problem. We could just run this way, get on top here. Now, if you decide to play this on vanilla, keep in mind the game is going to crash randomly in spots, and you also do get the Narnia skip. So theoretically it's faster, but it's a lot safer to be on the latest patch. But you end up down here, you can AX pump up this wall, then you AX pump up there and get over here. So that's how you get up there, but I like this method better. Even though it, in a perfect run, is slower, it eliminates those two AX pumps. But we have a slight problem. From up here, we cannot survive any fall down, and especially since I don't have Lightfoot, that makes it a little bit more scary too. I'm actually kind of curious if you can go over there, hop up onto that roof, and how close that platform is. I've never actually tested it. I don't know how useful it will be, but for right now, I'll at least show this to you. If I end up dying from this, I shouldn't, but if I do, you can see the rest of this route in my latest runs, which they're highlighted here on Twitch. But anyway, you want to jump to right there where I'm aiming. And so just get a running start, jump there. If you want, hit X, that'll give you a little bit of extra distance forward. And notice I took some fall damage. That's the scary part. So we know we can't fall much further than this. If you have Lightfoot, you can actually roll here and just roll off to the right. And all of this is solid here. And you won't take any damage whatsoever. Then we come up here, jump up on top of here, jump up here, and there's the second AX pump that gets you right there. And we can move on from there. Now, before I show you the rest of this, I want to talk about another skip that you can do on the 360 version that we cannot do on the Xbox One. Right now, it looks like this whole area is loaded, but it's not. It's an image that's loaded, not the actual thing. You can see how blocky it kind of looks. So jump up here, and you can see the image deloads, and now it's actually loading the section. And the textures look so much better now that we're right up against it. What this does is if we jump over here, this flooring is now solid. If I didn't reload the section, this area would not be solid at all. And I can't show you the rest of this. Whoa, that was really weird. Oh, there's a seam that you might be able to fall through. Interesting. But there's a gap just on the other side of this wall, so make sure you jump from here as far as you can to the right to get through. After you do it for a while, you get used to it. Then you jump forward to the left. These spokes here are part of a gate that's in your way, so you'll end up right over here. And on the 360 version, you can actually clip through the gate and get through, and there's a campsite right there. Unfortunately, on Xbox One, we don't have a way to get through. We can't do that clip. So we have to do the normal method. So we're up on top of there. You literally just jump down onto this, and we move on over here. Then from this, what we want to do is jump down over here, and then we're going to AX pump over in between these two pillars and jump up and through. The scary part about this is, right here, actually I think it's about right there, is a death floor that we're going to jump up and through. And if we jump up over it and then back down, we'll die. So we have to be very precise on getting our jumps up there, and it seems to be quite random whether it happens or not. So just practice this skip a handful of times and get up here. It shouldn't be too bad. I don't fail it all that often. The most I've failed it in runs is twice. And even in the current world record for this game, I've failed it once. Yes, in the current record, I failed this glitch once, and it wasted 3.5 minutes. So, you want a record? Go for it. But once you get up here, this is the gate that I was talking about. So you end up on the other side on the 360 version. You get to about right here, just to the left of that, and you can clip through. Visit this, it gives you a checkpoint, and then from here, you can move on. There is a fight back here that I skip, obviously. But then from here, we go to the end of the game. And that's really it. That's the biggest skip in the game, and those are all of the skips that we know of. So feel free to test. I'm very happy the PC version is coming out this week. We've got a bunch more people that are interested in running the game. So here's your introduction and walkthrough for running this game. And the time is over an hour shorter than if I went through the entire game. So that's why I did it in this way. So I got to show you a lot of stuff, and feel free to watch one of my record runs, and that'll show you the route and the strategies that I use. Of course, there's Samurai Blue that you can check out as well. He's got the record on the 360 version, so you can see some of the differences there. Also, there's other skips that are posted on speedrun.com. So you can go to the Rise of the Tomb Raider forums there. That'll help. And there's some stuff on the SDA forums, but it seems like the majority of everything has been migrated to speedrun.com. If you have any questions, feel free to PM me here on Twitch or on Twitter, and I will be glad to get back to you. I'm happy to have any more runners coming out here, whether you're on the 360, Xbox One, or even PC. So, happy the PC guys are getting the game this Thursday, and hoping to see more times. And hopefully we don't have as much version differences in Rise of the Tomb Raider that we did in 2013. So thanks for watching, everybody, Hope to see you on the leaderboards.